Really put you in the jam.
Okay. Now, I do tell them, if I think that they're savvy enough, I will go ahead and say, yeah, Michael was telling me about them, as I was telling you, I can't do 2 o'clock. What you tapping back on me for? They'll work it. They'll work it.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. All right, we're going to try this this first taping ever of two smart people for the Growth Mindset, gifted 7th grade students in science. Are you ready?
I might as well be.
So
we're gonna get this project done today.
So I brought it up. We're gonna tape. Again, we're using Call Note is the program. So we're gonna use that in FaceTime and see if it'll work for us.
Okay.
So, everyone, this is Miss Shirley Thomas and Terrell Graham. We are going to talk to you tonight. Our article review is based on a growth mindset of gifted 7th grade students in science. It's for their EDUF 7116 class. So stay tuned. Again, introduction. Shirley Thomas and Antero Graham will be your presenters for this this presentation. The focus of our research is on the growth mindset. And Shirley, you want to tell them about what is the growth mindset?
Sure, glad to. Okay, growth mindset is based on the research of Carol Dweck. And what she describes as growth mindset is one in which a person believes that his or her intelligence is malleable, or that it can change, or that it can grow. And what that looks like with a student is a student with a growth mindset. They tend to embrace challenges. They persist in the face of obstacles. They see effort as a study of strategies and a way to learn. They have perseverance and good old-fashioned grit. Converse to a growth mindset is a fixed mindset, though, and that is one in which a person believes that their intelligence is fixed, that it cannot be changed. Students with a fixed mindset, they like to just look smart instead of just being smart. They prefer to succeed at easy tasks. They quit when obstacles arise. They see if they have to put forth more effort, that they feel that means that they have low ability, or they're not as smart as they should be if they have to work harder at something. And a lot of times, a student with a fixed mindset is threatened by the success of others.
Awesome. And again, I think we both find this in our school environments, you over in Henry County and me over here in Rockdale, students every day. And in my case, with a specialty school focused on the sciences, you see this in our students. And so as we continue, what is the growth mindset? Again, it's a mastery goal-oriented and focused on learning. The research conducted by DeWitt was determined approximately 45% of the young adolescents had a fixed mindset. That was kind of interesting as we went through this article. And the growth mindset, about 10 to 15% fall in between the growth model and the fixed model. So again, as you guys are looking at your respective students out there in your buildings, it's an opportunity for you to kind of look and see the difference in between the two sets of students. Kind of give an article overview. It was Dr. Julie Eperez, Dr. Lee Schumail, and Dr. Jennifer Schmidt who did some research back in 2014. And what they focused on with the growth model in the science classroom was three things. They wanted to compare gifted and regular student beliefs about the malleable intelligence in science. B, they want to investigate whether the teaching gifted and talented middle school students about malleability of the brain and the study skills helped them to develop a growth mindset, and that came from DeWitt as well. And then finally, they wanted to examine whether there were teacher effects in the impact of that intervention. So those are the three things that they covered very effectively in this article. As we continue, the research investigates the growth mindset regarding science. And again, this was gifted students that was identified by using a state test, and they pulled them out. And again, they wanted to do, and you'll see later on in this presentation, where they did some interventions. And again, how was those interventions taking place? And the second purpose of research was to examine how gifted students responded to that intervention aimed at increasing that growth mindset. So the method of research. Shelby, what do you think?
Well, for the method of research, the data was used and it was collected as a part of the incremental mindset and utility science learning and engagement. I know that's a mouthful, but that's the short version is iMuscle. That's a project in which it was a quasi-experimental study that was designed to test the impact of targeted treatments on male and female students in a science classroom. So pretty much what they did, they used this program to measure the growth mindsets of students that were in regular 7th grade science classrooms.
Very good. And when you look at the setting of the research, it was done 2011-2012 school year. Students from all 7th grade classes in 2 different middle schools within the district was used as a group. They went on and had a control group and then a focus group in which they worked with. As we looked at participants, there was 380 7th grade students. The sample was very unique. It had the sample of, it was 45% male, 55% female. It gave the sample, which you guys can see, of their nationalities. 61% of the students were eligible for free and reduced lunch. And then 80 students of the sample of that 380 had been identified as gifted and talented by their respective school districts based on some standardized scores. So again, as you go through this article with us, what you'll find is that some similarities within any building that you guys are operating is, does an intervention work? And what we found, and you'll see in this, is that they found that when you educated that child on the possibilities and that they are smart, but here's why you're smart, they accepted it. They ran with it. And so you'll see some changes as we kind of continue through. Shirley, with the study implementation, I believe they said was enrolled in a science class. Yes.
Yes, they were enrolled in science classes, but the gifted students were enrolled in regular science classes, but they received some pull-out services for gifted. And the gifted students, some of the gifted students, 21.25% of them, were also enrolled in an after-school program that was sponsored by the National Consortium for Specialized Secondary Schools of Mathematics, Science, and Technology. So about a third of the gifted students received extra education or extra services in the specific areas of math and science. And then I guess we'll go ahead and do analysis.
Please.
As far as the analysis, the students in 7 classrooms, out of all of the 7th grade students, 380 7th grade students, 7 of the classrooms received the mindset treatment. And what that looked like, we'll talk about that some more in the procedure. And then the remaining 9 classrooms served as controls for the mindset treatment, so they received no mindset treatment.
In the procedure. So in the procedure, they use something that I was not familiar with, the brainology intervention. Looks like it was something that Dr. DeWitt actually came through her research and came up with. And it's based on 4 things. The goal of the program is to encourage a growth mindset in the learners, as we said earlier. It teaches how the brain works, that effort and learning strategies will improve one's intelligence. And again, they allow the kids to say, hey, they can make a difference in their learning lifestyles. The students participated in an interactive program. It was a software-based program for 6 weeks. And then at the end, they also took 4 surveys on a 6-point scale. Again, trying to collect as much data as they can on these kids with the control group as well as the gifted group. And so again, I believe a very thorough set of procedures in which they were trying to target those gifted kids to see if they made a difference. As we look at the results.
Exactly. Well, the research was conducted and to determine the comparison of a growth mindset model between gifted and regular education students. And yes, we already stated that. Prior to the intervention, a comparison of the beliefs of intelligence, malleability of gifted and talented students and regular education students showed that the gifted students were more likely to believe that intelligence in science is malleable. So pretty much what all of that meant is they gave a survey, and based on the answers to the survey, when they compared the gifted students' answers to the regular education students' answers, the more of the gifted students believed that, yes, that their intelligence in the area of science could be changed, it could grow. So they kind of had, before even the mindset treatment or the mindset intervention, they kind of already were predisposed to the fact that, yes, my intelligence in the area of science could be changed. But then as far as the further with the results, the gifted and the talented students who participated in the intervention with the brainology treatment, their growth mindset did grow even further than what it was initially before the intervention, whereas the regular education students, their beliefs about the malleability of their intelligence actually decreased. Further analysis that wasn't shown in this study, and they made a point to say that they did not show this analysis, that the change was maintained through the follow-up demonstrating the lasting effect of the intervention. So even after the intervention was completed, they just made a point to say that even after the intervention was completed, this change in the students' understanding of their mindset and how their brain worked continued.
Awesome. All right, we'll move on a little bit further. And so some of the discussions that was made from this is that the growth mindset students with a growth mindset are more likely to seek out opportunities to learn. They extended beyond the assigned requirements. So as you look in your respective buildings, look for some of these traits. Pursuing learning opportunities for both in and out of the classroom. Embracing and persisting in the face of challenge. And utilize both feedback and study strategies to improve. Again, the growth kids really wanted to, and they were excited by this research of the possibilities. And then when you looked at the fixed mindset, again, they adopted that maladaptive, counterproductive educational pattern that says, I've always been told I was smart, I'm smart, and they went from there. As we continue, the conclusion of this is the research showed that gifted and talented students changed the view on their intelligence as they were taught. And so key in our respective buildings is finding those fantastic teachers, those exciting teachers that will really stimulate the growth of our kids intellectually. Okay. Yeah.
I was just going to say also, with the implementation of CCRPI, with a lot of schools paying attention to that, there's been a big push to implement a lot of this information into our buildings. So growth mindset, I know in my building and in my district, that is part of the culture of our schools now, where we teach these things, and there's specific language and verbiage that we use that goes along with growth mindset. So one main thing that if I'd like to just give as a takeaway, that's the power of the word yet. So when a student says that they can't, we always put yet on the end. So it gives that student, it's not necessarily hope, but helps them to understand that if I continue to give effort, if I continue to try, that I may not be able to do this now, but I'm growing and I'm getting better. I just don't have it yet.
That's fantastic. We're gonna steal that over in Rockdale County, I think.
Okay.
So again, when we looked at future research, this study did not directly address the underachievement, the perfectionism, and the helplessness oriented that may undermine gifted students' realization of their potential. It also it focused on a likely factor underpinning those maladaptive patterns. It was interesting, and both Sherby and I were talking about future studies are needed to connect these constructs with mindset. And you're right, with CCRPI, I believe, again, I'm coming with a building that I manage that we have not done well regarding CCRPI, but over this past milestone test, my kids have actually shown some tremendous growth, and that's been very key for us. And again, maintaining that. I'm sure the same thing over in Henry County.
Exactly.
Here's the works that we cited. If you guys, as you review our presentation, if our classmates have any questions regarding the growth mindset, please reach out to us. I think this was an interesting journey, both for Sherby and I, and we'll conclude the presentation at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.